men are the most misunderstood species on earth. No one talks about men. Everybody's talking about women and their rights and how women need to come up. Who's going to talk about men? एक आदमी के अंदर क्या चल रहा है वो खुद से तो कभी बताएगा ही नहीं. I'm worthy of all the love.
I'm worthy of all the love.
I'm very powerful.
I'm very powerful.
I'm very powerful.
So this is a way to calm yourself down. What is this called?
It's called EFT.
EFT.
It's called Emotional Freedom Technique.
We live in a world where men are constantly expected to provide, and often their emotional struggles go unnoticed even by themselves. Welcome back to another episode of Key Conversations. Today's conversation is the one which is very close to my heart, and I'm very sure it will resonate with many men out there. Today we have with us Madhvi Juneja, India's only IPHM accredited trauma and inner child healer, working for 20 years helping individuals and families unlock their emotional journeys. Hi Madhvi, how are you today?
Hi,
Welcome
Sajid.
to Mumbai.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure, and what a gorgeous place this is.
Thank you. Please invite us to Gurgaon soon.
100%.
Yeah.
Very soon. Ajao.
So let's start.
Let's go.
Madhvi, you work with people across different walks of life. What do you notice about men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, the ones carrying the responsibility of families and careers, that rarely gets spoken about?
Sajid, you've touched a very raw nerve because people might call me pro-men, but I think men are the most misunderstood species on earth.
Why so?
Because no one talks about men.
Right.
Everybody's talking about women and their rights and how women need to come up. But, arey bhai, who's going to talk about men? Men have suppressed emotions. Men do not talk about their emotions at all. All that they show is how powerful, how successful, and how firm they are.
Right.
What the world sees is a man that can hold it all together, that can put it all together, that can look after his family, that can run a very successful business. But don't you think that men have feelings, emotions, troubles, wounds that need to be looked at?
But they often, been called as providers and the ones who always have to be strong and not show their emotions. Why do we have this notion in India? Or maybe all over the world?
The
for men?
archetypal role of men is such.
Okay.
The archetypal role of men is कि आदमी provider है and woman is the nurturer.
Right.
एक family को चलाने का काम woman का है.
Right.
मगर एक काम करके कमा के लाकर सबके लिए provide करने का काम is of a man.
Right.
And so it's been taken quite literally. But ऐसा तो नहीं that the man does not have feelings.
Right.
But how often do we really sit down with a man and ask him questions like, how are you really feeling? Are you happy with what you're doing? Are you happy with what you're seeing in your family? Do you feel loved and respected? Do you feel appreciated?
And these questions are never asked to men.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. एक आदमी के अंदर क्या चल रहा है वो खुद से तो कभी बताएगा ही नहीं because he's never trained to talk about those facts.
Madhvi, why do you think men are so good at hiding their emotions? And what are the consequences of always having to be the ideal one?
So there are two parts to the question that you asked me.
Yeah.
That why do men hide it so well?
Right.
Because archetypal role of a man is to be the provider and a woman's archetypal role is to be the nurturer.
Right.
अब एक आदमी को जिसको प्रोवाइडिंग करना है उसको अनकंडीशनली प्रोवाइडिंग करना है.
Right.
भले उसका मन हो या ना हो, he has to go to work.
Right.
भले उसका मन अच्छा फील कर रहा हो या ना हो, he has to go and make sure everything is running fine for the family.
Right.
He has to make ends meet.
Right.
A woman's role is कि सबको there has to be food on the table, there has to be nurturance, and there has to be a happiness environment, and everybody's needs are being taken care of. That is a woman's role.
Right.
Now, when a man holds that much responsibility on his shoulders, उसके पास choice नहीं है ना.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that men were never trained to speak their hearts out. उनको बोला कि आप चुप रहिए, आप चुपचाप जाओ, अपना काम करो, पैसा कमाओ, घर लेकर आओ, that's all. एक सक्सेसफुल आदमी का when you look out for the signs of being a successful man, what are they?
Provider,
Yeah?
being strong,
Yes?
uh, looking after their kids,
Yes?
their education,
Yeah?
making money.
Yeah? तो अब उसमें से मुझे बता दो सेंसिटिविटी का कहाँ है ये, इसमें से कोई भी चीज़ में सेंसिटिविटी का कोई रोल है?
No.
He just has to get up, act, create a certain amount of money, make sure the needs are being provided. That's all.
Right.
Because the man is carrying so much on his shoulders, he's never able to relax.
So do you
वो
think
बाकी सबको रिलैक्स कराता रहता है.
right? But do you think a lot of men today are having mental health issues?
Big time. Men have more mental health issues than women.
Really?
Yes. And you know what the saddest part is? That 80% of my clients are women and only 30% are men.
Okay.
That's
so then,
the kind of difference that I see. But every man that I talk to, every man that has ever come to me, they have all come to me with the fact that my heart is holding on to so much and I've never had a space where I can shed it off.
you know, many men feel that despite all they provide, they aren't really valued or appreciated. How does this lack of appreciation affect men?
They feel I'm not good enough and I can never be enough. मुझे और करने की ज़रूरत है. Because the needs and demands of a family keep growing time to time.
Right.
एक आदमी एक milestone achieve करता है, उसके next need that is greater than this achievement is already ready there. So now he's walking from a one step to the next step to the next step, and that's the trajectory of his journey. वो कभी भी ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता कि मैं आज इस जगह पहुंच गया, now I can take a back seat and chill.
Right.
Every time he reaches a certain point, family की needs बढ़ जाती हैं. And so he has to stretch himself even more. So
Right.
now even when he's reached his goals, he still cannot unwind and relax and say, I've done a good job.
Right. There's always next
Yeah.
day to look forward to and hustle.
Yes. You buy a gadget A, there's a greater gadget waiting.
Right.
You buy a house A, there is a B house waiting.
Correct.
That now I need more.
Right.
What's the next goal? You go to a social circle and they ask you, what's next, buddy?
Yeah, but there's no end to it, right? There's always
going on?
something bigger
Yeah.
to look forward to.
And so you never stop. And so you never stop stressing. क्योंकि hard work सिखाया गया ना हमको. A man was never taught that, you know what, be happy with what you have gained and you can now take a backseat and chill also for a while. It's not for forever, but can you give yourself a break? A man does not. His mind is always at work.
So, Madhvi, let's talk about generational patterns and the gift of trauma. You've always spoken about the gift of trauma. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Gift of trauma is that every adversity, जब कोई भी trouble आता है, the first part of that adversity is that you fall down.
Right.
You get hurt, you go down to the lowest levels of your capacity where you can't take it anymore. The second step is that when you start to rise up from that adversity, तो एक बार आप गिरे और उसके बाद आप खड़े हुए.
Right.
The second part of this entire trajectory is what brings the gifts. अब क्या होता है that when you fall down, you go down to the lowest, but when you rise up higher than your last high.
Right. I've seen that.
Yeah? So which means that अब आपको जब भी trauma आया, it will give you a certain high. It will increase and expand your capacity to be someone greater than who you were. आप जो लास्ट टाइम थे, आप उससे एक बहुत बड़ा इंसान बन के खड़े हो जाते हो. मे बी योर कैपेसिटी टू गिव बिकम्स ग्रेटर, मे बी योर कैपेसिटी टू स्टैंड अप फॉर योर सेल्फ बिकम्स मच ग्रेटर, मे बी योर कैपेसिटी टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड सी लाइफ फ्रॉम अ ग्रेटर पर्सपेक्टिव एक्सपैंड्स, बट इट विल ऑलवेज ब्रिंग यू सम गिफ्ट्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, व्हेन ट्रॉमा हैपेंड इन माई लाइफ, it made me this person that I am today.
Okay.
I was shy, I was not confident, I was completely broken, and I never thought it was possible for me to ever succeed in my life. I always thought success was for other people.
Since we are talking about trauma, uh, tell me something about autoimmune disorders. Is it related to trauma and mental health?
100%. Any illness, any disease, anything that happens in the body is primarily stemming from unresolved, unhealed emotions.
So, are autoimmune disorders curable?
You can reverse them to a degree, but 100% heal हो जाता है या नहीं हो जाता, I'm not a medical professional, so I would
Right.
not like to step into that area.
Right.
But what I can definitely tell you is that the minute you start to work on your emotions, the extent to which something affects your life starts to reverse to a greater extent. Okay, I have had tremendous results when it comes to emotional healing. The minute there is a sore muscle, when there is a lot of tension in your body, and you start to work on the root cause emotion, your body tension releases. And that's the exact formula that functions on every area of your life.
So, how can people work on their root causes?
The first step is to identify what is it that I'm dealing with.
Okay.
The first step is कि मैं किस चीज़ के साथ लड़ाई कर रहा हूँ ना. What is it that is stuck inside me which is causing this illness, this disease, this uneasiness, this pain or the soreness in my body?
Right.
The first step is identification. The second step is to process it and release the tension, release the root cause, release the pain, release the angst, release the fear, the guilt, the shame attached to that particular aspect of your life. एक बार वो निकल गया, then can you imagine your आपका जो सबसे बड़ा problematic emotion है, अगर वो release हो जाता है तो आपके body में relaxation नहीं आ जाती.
You feel calm.
You feel absolutely relaxed. Every single cell of your body gets a signal that now it is safe for me to relax, and I now do not need to tense up.
Correct.
Yeah? And then there's another step. This is only step 2. The third step is when you start to reprogram yourself to a new reality. तो सबसे पहला identification.
Right.
Second step is processing and releasing the pain. And third step is reprogramming yourself to a new reality. For example, अगर मेरे life में मैंने बार बार ये समझा that Madhvi, you're not confident because you are so and so, you are fat, you're ugly, you're this, you're that. This was programmed in me. So every time I face the camera, I'm just giving you an example.
Right.
Okay? If I'm a child who has been told all of these things, so every time I have a job, I have to face the camera, my mind will go, oh, I'm not safe because what people will see is fat and ugly.
Right.
And so my whole body will tense up. And until I go and release the fat and ugly emotion inside me, my body cannot relax and calm down. And I cannot even find my confidence to be who I am. Imagine if I believed about myself that I'm absolutely beautiful, I'm so confident, and every word that I speak has a greater impact. The kind of impact I will have then will be far greater than if I was coming from my own follies and my own lack of trust in myself. So the third step is the crucial one. That after releasing, what do I tell myself and what do I make my reality that I start to operate on? That becomes my new reality after healing.
Interesting. I have a very important question. For many men, strict fathers or tough upbringings shaped their discipline and success, but it also left scars. How can men reframe from this duality, gratitude for what it gave them, while healing from the pain it caused?
पता क्या होता है? I've seen a lot of people in family businesses.
Right.
That a father started a business with a lot of hard work. अब जब second generation आ गई ना, when the sons take over, that the father is so fearful कि ये सही करेंगे ना, and he's not able to leave his control over the entire decision making process. But every time that father wants to trust his sons, but क्योंकि आपने पूरी लाइफ कभी पावर नहीं दिया ना,
Correct.
the sons may not be able to do it. They may always feel scared of the father. That will I be able to match up to the father's expectations? So how does one deal with it is that it has to start from the very beginning of a child's life. Every child needs to be treated like an individual and not like a child.
Correct.
If you start talking to your children like how you would talk, like how you and I would talk,
Yeah.
instead of putting my mistrust in my child, if I start putting my trust
Trust in
in
my
my
child.
child,
Yes.
my child is very likely to do much better in life rather than trying to prove to me that, Mama, I'm good enough.
Right.
Please look at me. Please acknowledge me. So it's a childhood wound that is carrying forward in a man's life. When there are strict fathers, when they do not trust their own children and they have a hard time putting their best self forward.
Do you think men sometimes confuse fear driven discipline with love?
All the time.
Yeah? Can you give us an example?
So when a boy is trained that beta, when you behave like this is what you need to do, this is what the definition of success is, और अगर आपने perform नहीं किया, then you know what, there are consequences. पापा आएंगे ना, डांट लगाएंगे, आपको ऐसा behave नहीं करना, आपको ऐसा नहीं करना है. Then the child is always fearing, और उसको out of fear appreciation चाहिए. डरते डरते बोलेगा, Dad, did I do okay? And I says, हाँ ठीक तो किया, चलो जाओ. What about that? The child also needs appreciation and love, like being hugged, being nurtured, being cared for, being reassured that yes, beta, you did it well. There's a big gap in how we treat our children today, Sajid, vis-a-vis how
It's
we were
so
treated
different. It's so different.
by our parents.
But do you think that affected a lot of kids back then with the way we
A
were
lot
brought
of
up?
them. I think our generation. Let's just talk about our generation. We are kind of a sandwich generation.
Right. Why do you say so?
And I'm a coach myself, and I yet feel that we are a sandwich generation because our children are extremely independent, and we respect them, and
We
we
respect
we
them. Yeah,
we give them space to be who they are.
Correct.
But in our times, that wasn't the norm.
Right.
We were told, "आपको ऐसा करना है," and this is expected out of you. एक फैमिली की इज्जत है, एक फैमिली का औहदा है, एक फैमिली का सिस्टम है that you have to take forward.
Yeah. But why is it that we are so different with our kids? You know, we talk to them today as friends. You know, we have that kind of relation that I think our kids, even at the age of 10, can come and talk to us about anything. And it wasn't like this back then.
Yeah.
I don't think I could go talk to my father like that the way my son talks to me today.
I think दूध का चला छाछ भी फूक फूक के पीता है. Which is why, and we are also overdoing a lot of stuff. Let's admit that.
Right.
It's not that we've kind of figured it out all.
Right.
हम इधर से भी पिस रहे हैं और इधर से भी मार खा रहे हैं.
Yeah.
Which is why I call this generation a sandwich generation. कि आज the children can play upon us as well.
Right.
Because we have never had the opportunity to stand our grounds. Our parents were the stricter ones.
Right.
They put their point across, और by hook और by crook साम दाम दंडभेद लगाकर उन्होंने अपना काम करवा लिया हमसे.
Right.
हम अपने बच्चों के आगे भी हार जाते हैं,
correct.
क्योंकि वो भी अपना साम दाम दंडभेद लगाकर हमसे अपना काम पूरा करवा लेते हैं. So we are kind of stuck in between.
Yeah.
So this is my observation that we also need to find that balance कि ना इधर ना इधर. We also need to be firm and gentle at the same time.
Correct. Let's get to shifting roles across generations. Today's fathers are raising Gen Z kids with completely different ideologies and values. What struggles do you see men facing in trying to adapt to this shift?
Fathers of today's generation really don't know what freedom is.
Right, fathers
And
don't know, but the kids
mothers
know.
also don't know. I mean, both
Yeah,
parents don't know
yeah,
what
but the
freedom
kids
is.
know.
Kids very well know it, but we as parents have a hard time. People who have Gen Z kids have a hard time understanding that this child has full autonomy over their own system.
Right.
Parents have a hard time.
Right.
Children are very well aware, educated, and they're finding their ways out.
They're finding the ways out.
Teachers also are having a really hard time. Because this set of parents and this set of teachers haven't yet adapted to these systems fully.
The new generation.
Yes. We are the ones that need to adapt more. ये तो आगे आगे और, my sister's just got a baby, my brother's just got a baby like a month ago and, 5 days ago. These are Gen Beta. We don't even know a thing about them. We need to apprise ourselves to their levels. they can never go back to understanding who we are. Of course, we can just share who we are, but they will never experience those times. तो एक फादर को आज क्या करना है? आज उसको अपने आप को एजुकेट करने की ज़रूरत है, अपने बाउंड्रीज को एक्सपैंड करने की ज़रूरत है, अपनी सर्कल ऑफ टॉलरेंस को एक्सपैंड करने की ज़रूरत है. And you cannot give what you don't have. So you know what is the most important thing to do in today's times? Anybody who's got Gen Z kids, they need to enroll themselves in therapy first. If you don't do that, then you're the one that is going to suffer.
Yeah.
वो बच्चा तो अपना कर लेगा जो करना है.
Yeah. How can men bridge that gap, staying true to their own values, but also understanding and connecting with the younger generation?
सबसे पहले अपनी खुद की हीलिंग बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. Because if you're coming from your own unhealed wounds, Sajid, let's talk about this generational gap जो बढ़ता ही जा रहा है ना with age and time and with the next generations coming further. हमने देखा that हमारे parents used to tell us, give us instructions, give us some kind of power and take away some kind of power from us.
Correct.
This generation that has come has full power.
True.
We don't know how to take full power first of all. So how can we give full power?
Correct.
हमको खुद के ऊपर पावर नहीं है तो हम क्या देंगे उसको? So इस जनरेशन के बच्चों के पेरेंट्स को पहले तो अपनी पावर ढूंढने की ज़रूरत है.
Right.
That is the first step. दूसरों की जैसे पहले खुद की जय करे. You need to find your ground first.
Right.
Before you give it to them.
Right. So, what role does vulnerability play in being a better father, husband, or leader?
A lot of people think being vulnerable is being weak. Rather, being vulnerable opens doors or it opens such doors जो आपने कभी expect नहीं किए थे. Imagine a father coming to his children, sitting them down and having deep conversations and sharing that he's gone through these situations in his life. These are his hurts and pains. These are his weaknesses and these are his strengths and these are his experiences. Don't you think the children would reciprocate with so much more sensitivity and love and respect towards this father?
True.
But ulta kya hota hai? When the father is troubled, वो क्या करता है? वापस घर आता है, he throws his bag and says, "Let me fix a drink. Nobody talks to me now.
Yeah.
Close my door. I'm sitting in my study. कोई नहीं आएगा अंदर." And he's just drinking his pains in.
And I've seen that with a lot of families.
When there is no communication, how will anybody know what the dad is dealing with or the man of the house is dealing with? How many times have we really reached out to him and asked him, "Are you okay? How was your day? What went around? Do you need anything? I'm here. Talk to me. Share what you feel." Do we really give the man that much scope? But rather, ulta kya hai na? Women kind of say, "I'm looking after the children. I'm looking after the house. You need to, bring in the money. You need to bring in the energy of safety for us." फिर ये equality क्यों है? क्या है ये?
Madhvi, can you tell us something about the movie Animal? Can you give some references of the father-son relation?
The movie Animal is a classic example of a wounded inner child. A wounded inner child who's looking for his father's validation, approval and acceptance. उसको क्या चाहिए? वो हर चीज़ अपने डैड को प्रूव करने के लिए कर रहा है that dad look at me. I deserve your love. He is looking for his dad's time and attention जो उसको नहीं मिल रहा था बचपन में. Now when he's grown up, he's become such an angry person and he's become so angry at the world simply because he has not found acceptance and approval in his childhood. जो उसके अंदर का anger है वो सारी दुनिया पे निकालता जा रहा है.
Classic example.
Classic example है. And when I see an angry man, my first question is, what happened in your childhood? And then they come and tell me, "Madhvi, why are you even asking me this question? That was then, this is now. इसका क्या ताल्लुक है इस बात से?" But the entire story begins from your 0 to 7 years of your life. 0 matlab when you were a unicellular organism in your mom's womb. That got fertilized and became a multicellular organism. Then became a fetus. Then became a baby. an infant, a child, a teenager, and an adult. The entire journey.
That's why today more men need therapy.
Every man needs healing and therapy and coaching and understanding where in their childhood they got wounded. Men and women alike, but more so with men because, as I said, in my practice as a coach, as a healer, 80% are women and only 20% are men. That's the kind of difference that I see in the requirement of a man and vis-a-vis how many men come out and receive help.
They don't see the need for therapy yet.
Yeah. My first client came to me at a such a point in life where he was carrying divorce papers with him. वो डिवोर्स पेपर्स बना कर आए मेरे पास, अब बताओ क्या करूं. आई सेड अब क्या करना है, अब तो आपने कागज बना कर आए हो, ये फाड़ दो इसको. दिस इज नॉट हैपनिंग. Anyways, it's been so many years. He's still
Yeah.
married, happily married.
Wow. Good to know.
Yeah, that was my first case, and I was very happy with it. That it saved a home, it saved a
Wow.
family.
You know, therapy for men is still such a taboo, especially in India. Why do you think men avoid it so strongly compared to women or younger generations?
क्या बोलेगा ना वो जाकर, I'm going to therapy. दोस्त क्या बोलेंगे?
पागल है क्या?
हाँ.
Why do you need therapy?
That's why. He's very scared of even asking for references. वो जाकर अपने दोस्त को पूछेगा ना, बोलेगा यार I need to go to somebody to seek help. सबसे वो पहले वो बोलेगा listen, you need to simply just come out of your home. Let's go for a drink. Let's go for a drive.
Yeah. Yeah, they won't say go to therapy.
That's the max therapy that a man gets.
You
A
know,
drive and a drink with his friends.
Zakir Khan says, in one of his podcasts that दोस्त का फोन आता है कि यार ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये प्रॉब्लम है, and men have one answer. चला जा बैठते.
Exactly. चला जा बैठते, such a relief for a man.
It's such a therapy for men. Yeah.
In the moment, it acts as therapy, but it's not really. It's something that cannot do end-to-end work.
Right.
वो moment को pass करने के लिए बहुत अच्छा है. And I'm actually, I take a lot of inspiration from men's friendship.
Right.
They are so loyal, they stick together, they don't judge each other, they stand by each other unconditionally. कुछ हो जाए, एक आदमी का दोस्त आकर उसके साथ जरूर खड़ा हो जाता है.
But I remember a time when I was going through a major depression period, and there were times 3-4 of my friends just used to enter my house.
Yeah.
And without calling, and at that moment, that those 1 or 2 hours didn't feel like there's anything wrong with me.
Correct.
Because you just forget everything, right? And you just sit and talk to them about rubbish, but you feel calm.
Yes. One thing I really love about friendship amongst men is that they do not judge each other whatsoever.
Right.
On the other hand, women will judge women like how? A woman is a woman's greatest enemy. And I know I'm going to get quoted on this one, but this is what I have seen and experienced as well.
For men who think therapy is not for them, what would you say therapy actually offers?
When we say the word therapy, it kind of puts it in the bracket that कुछ तो problem है, कुछ तो बीमारी है, कुछ तो ठीक करना है. But when you go to somebody who's a coach, somebody who works in this domain and doesn't sound, in the medical, or doesn't put it in the medical domain, it becomes much easier to open up. A coaching session, on the other hand, can open up so much on a lighter note, without diagnosis, without labeling. And once you get a vent and you know the process of healing and processing those wounds, things become easier. You don't have to wait for a big event to happen. A lot of times people say, क्यों करना है coaching, क्यों करना है therapy, क्यों जाना है किसी program में, कोई problem थोड़ी ना है. You don't have to wait for one to happen. I am a trauma specialist. But लोग मुझे बोलते हैं, मैम मेरे को तो कोई trauma थोड़ी है, ये तो real life normal experiences है ना, what's so bad about it? The issue is that we don't really understand what falls under the category of trauma. हमें ऐसा लगता है कि जब तक कोई emergency room hospital तक नहीं पहुंच गया, तब तक उसको trauma नहीं बोलते.
Yeah, but that's what we think, right?
But that's not how it is.
You're good till you're good.
Psychology also puts it in under two categories. One is the big T traumas, that means the bigger events like a fire broke, in your building, or you had an accident, or you broke your bones and somebody thrashed you and, broke your teeth and knocked you down. That kind of a big T trauma. On the other hand, there are these tinier, subtle episodes that keep happening on an everyday basis, जिसको आप count ही नहीं करते.
Huh. So, what are the signs that people come to know that trauma is beginning to affect them? Just for our viewers to know that this is the time you need to go to a psychiatrist or a therapist or you need counseling. What are these signs?
Please don't wait for something to happen.
Okay.
If you're not feeling okay, go to a coach, go to a therapist, go seek help. मतलब आज मन अच्छा नहीं है ना, तो भी जाकर कोच के पास बैठ जाओ, थेरेपिस्ट के पास बैठ जाओ. I don't know what's happening and I want to find out and I want to feel better. That is the good enough reason. It's a valid enough reason for you to go to a coaching session.
Then you don't
have
need
to,
a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't need a reason.
You don't need to wait for something to affect you so badly.
Absolutely. People come to me when they have gone through so many processes, so many people already. They've gone through treatments and whatnot. And they come to me in the end.
So, we often see men use socializing, parties, alcohol as ways to cope. What healthier outlets could they turn to that still feel masculine or accessible?
एक टाइनी प्रोसेस बताओ, करा के बता दो.
बताओ.
चलो शुरू करते हैं. कोई एक टाइनी इमोशन आइडेंटिफाई करो आज, which you think is troubling you.
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
And especially when even I think the slightest of stress that comes into my day-to-day life.
Okay, let's talk about anxiety. ठीक है?
Okay.
Anxiety एक symptom है of
Right.
something that does not feel completely relaxed and okay in my life.
Right, yeah, you just feel heavy.
Yeah, you feel heavy. I want you to identify where in your body do you feel this emotion?
My chest.
Your chest. If you were to give it a number, how intense would it be on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being the smallest, 10 being the greatest.
It depends on the situation, but maybe like
Look inside your body. Turn
8
your-
on 10.
Turn your sight inwards.
Okay,
Look inside your chest. You said it's in your chest.
right.
And I want you to now notice what is the intensity of it on a scale of 1 to 10.
9.99.
Wow. Okay. This 9.99 intensity anxiety
Right.
sitting in your chest. What color is it?
Black.
If you were to give it a weight in kgs, how heavy is it?
Maybe 100.
100 kilos?
Yeah.
All right. So now the first step is done, that you have identified what am I dealing with.
Right.
Okay? The second step. Now let's work on it. Now, in such a short period, I cannot explain and I cannot teach the whole process of it, but I'm going to teach you a very tiny way of doing it. That you could be
Okay.
sitting in your car, you identify that I'm dealing with anxiety, I'm going for a meeting, I'm not feeling 100% me. Now what do? You start tapping on the fleshiest part of your hand.
Okay. Okay, we're doing this?
Yeah, we're doing this. So you
Okay.
tap and say, this anxiety that I feel in my chest,
Okay. This anxiety that I feel in my chest,
which is 9.9 intensity,
which is 9.9 intensity,
100 kilos,
100 kilos.
I take full accountability of this.
I take full accountability of this.
Even though I feel this anxiety,
Even though I feel this anxiety,
I choose to
I choose to
deeply and completely
deeply and completely
love, accept, and honor myself.
love, accept, and honor myself.
Even though I feel this anxiety in my chest,
Even though I feel this anxiety in my chest,
I choose to
I choose to
deeply and completely
deeply and completely
love, accept, and honor myself.
love, accept, and honor myself.
Even though I feel this anxiety in my chest,
Even though I feel this anxiety in my chest,
I choose to
I choose to
deeply and completely
deeply and completely
love, accept, and honor myself.
love, accept, and honor myself.
This anxiety
This anxiety
sitting in my chest
sitting in my chest
is not making me feel easy.
is not making me feel easy.
I definitely don't want this anxiety,
I definitely don't want this anxiety.
and I'm willing to let it go.
and I'm willing to let it go.
I choose to let go of this anxiety.
I choose to let go of this anxiety
Because it's just not who I really am.
because it's just not who I really am.
This is just a situation which
This
is
is
not
just-
feeling okay.
This is just a situation which is not feeling okay.
And situations come and go.
And situations come and go.
You know what? I'm way greater than any situation.
You know what? I'm way greater than any situation.
I choose to take my power back.
I choose to take my power back.
And I choose to let go of this anxiety out of my body.
And I choose to let go of this anxiety out of my body.
I choose to take all my power back.
I choose to take all my power back.
Because I'm way greater than any situation
Because
in my
I'm
life.
way greater than any situation.
I choose to take my power back.
I choose to take my power back.
I choose to take my power
I
back.
choose to take my power
I
back.
choose to take my power
I
back.
choose to take my power back.
I choose to take my power back.
I choose to take my power
I
back.
choose to take my power
I
back.
choose to take my power back.
I 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 choose to take my power back.
Oh boy, I'm powerful enough.
Oh, I'm powerful enough.
All right, I'm feeling better now.
Oh, I'm actually feeling better now.
Okay, I choose to love myself.
Wow. I choose to love myself.
And I choose to take my power back.
And I choose to take my power back.
I'm powerful enough.
I'm powerful enough.
And I can take charge of anything in my life.
And I can take charge of anything in my life.
I'm worthy.
I'm worthy.
I'm worthy of all the love.
I'm worthy of all the
I'm
love.
very powerful.
I'm 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 very powerful.
And so it is.
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 And now I want you to take a scan one more time. What's the number of this anxiety now?
It's come down to 5.
Yay!
Yeah, actually. It's a great way to.
How much time did we spend on this? 1.5 minutes? Lesser than that?
So, this is a way to calm yourself down in the
Such
middle
a-
of the day
Yes.
when your thoughts are spiraling.
When you're all over the place and you don't know where your ground is, you simply sit, identify, process, and tell yourself a new statement. 3 process step. No matter where you are.
What is this called?
It's called EFT.
EFT. What
It's
is the
called
full form?
Emotional Freedom Technique.
Emotional Freedom Technique.
Or you can call
Okay.
tapping.
Okay. Wow.
And you've done this tons of times
Yeah.
with me.
So, how can we as a society make therapy more approachable and less stigmatized for men?
By going to therapy ourselves.
Okay.
How do we normalize something? By doing it.
Right.
If we keep thinking, कि अच्छा हाँ चलो कभी जाएंगे,
Yeah.
we are waiting for one day when
We're
things
waiting
will
for
blast.
something to happen.
Yeah. Stop waiting for things to happen. Simply go. Just go. You know what? There's so much work to be done in everybody's life. मेरे पास बहुत सारे लोग आते हैं who want to train to become coaches.
Okay.
Okay? And I train people to become trauma healers and coaches. But when they come to me, वो तो बोलते हैं हम तो सर्टिफिकेशन लेने आए थे माधवी. What did you put me into? I've realized there's so much to deal with in my own life.
Ourselves, yes.
And that's where the entire journey begins from. और मैं एक बहुत shamelessly बात बोलती हूँ. That if you are a coach, if you are a therapist who has not worked on yourself, I'm sorry, how can you really work?
Right. How can you help others?
How can you help others if you've not helped yourself? As a coach, I don't even let them get a certification unless I am sure that they've done the work on themselves. That's the kind of quality I make sure I can. This is the only thing that's in my hands, right?
True.
That I want to make sure that people who are going out there, going to work with people, are best quality people and not just trained, not just certified, but healed people.
Healed, yes. Very important.
Very important that a coach needs to work on themselves first.
So, tell us something about social media in today's times and how does it affect mental health?
It inspires you,
Yes.
but at the same time stresses you so much.
And why so?
Because it inspires you to do greater stuff, because when you watch people, when you look at people that they are doing this, they're doing that, you kind of get new ideas.
Lot
Your
of
mind
comparisons, right? Okay.
Your mind also expands, no, Sajid. Today
Yes.
we have a lot of information because thanks to social
Thanks to
media.
social media.
Good side भी तो है ना.
Right, yes, of course.
बहुत बड़ा good side है.
Right.
But the flip side is that we are constantly living in comparison. That's the flip side.
Right.
You're constantly living to meet a certain standard. So the levels of satisfaction have gone down drastically. आज किसी से भी आप मिल लो ना, they will have a list of aspirations.
Right.
Things to do. Everybody's got a to-do list now. पहले तो नहीं होती थी.
Right.
आज सबके पास है.
Yeah. But
Everybody's got a vision board.
yeah, I'm sure.
I want to go here, I want to achieve
Go
this,
here.
I want to have this car, I want to have this house. Da, 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 da. They've got this list ready. आज बच्चा भी अपने vision boards बना के बैठा है. I mean, of course, we teach all of this to create a life. But you know what? At what cost? कितना पागलपन मचाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. The flow of life is also important. Those quieter moments are extremely important.
But does it affect Gen Z kids in positive
Zs
and a negative way?
Gen Zs are extremely aware. I really love this generation, honestly. They're very well informed. And they are well researched also. They are not coming out of fluke. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो attitude बिना किसी बात के है.
Right.
They also really understand their self-worth, which is why I love this generation. They're unapologetic about what they want, to even speak about it, to even express it of how they like certain things and how they don't like certain things. I wish I had half their confidence when I was a young kid.
That's true, yeah. And they know when to say no.
Yes, the greatest
which
virtue
we
of
didn't know.
all. The greatest virtue of all, they know when to say no.
You know,
I was watching these memes जो आजकल आ रहे थे that a Gen Z employee wrote an email to their boss saying that I am out of office for these 3 days, and the amount we laughed at that email was insane. But what they wrote was so much about my rights and I'm going to be out of office and don't you dare call me. But in our time, Sajid, I remember working in a corporate setup. ठीक है, बॉस कभी भी रात को 9 बजे भी फोन करता था, उस फाइल का क्या हुआ? I used to wake up with nightmares. I worked in the travel industry. ठीक है, और उस टाइम में I used to open 50 files in a day.
We didn't know what work-life balance is.
There was no work life.
Yeah.
Hello.
In our 20s, we
There
didn't
was
know
only
that.
work. There was
only
no
work,
life.
Yeah.
We had to bunk office to even go out with friends.
But is work-life balance actually a thing?
Today, it is a
Yeah.
concept, and I'm very glad it is.
Okay. Why so?
क्योंकि आपकी लाइफ को आप जीरो कर दिया था ना हमने पहले.
Okay.
Then we came to work-life balance, and I myself dealt with it for the longest time. I would give away a lot of my time even after office hours, which I stopped doing.
Yeah, a lot of countries now are making the work week 4 days also.
It is the most fantastic thing if it happens.
We work 7 days a week.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
But that's why there is no life. There's only work.
So let's talk about practical guidance. If a man listening to this podcast today feels unseen or underappreciated, what is one small step he can take right now to nurture himself?
First of all, to all the men watching, from all the women fraternity, and from all the world's side, I would like to apologize for not being there for the men.
How nice.
For not understanding that they have a sensitive side too. So I would say, please reach out to your bros even more. Even women can be your bros in times. You know?
Yeah.
It's all right to talk about your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, your vulnerabilities, your iffy moments, your not so sure moments, your I'm not okay moments. They're all welcome. This world is becoming more open, more accepting to receiving this. And I step up to it.
Talk about your feelings.
Yeah. And reach out to a coach, a therapist. It's a non-judgmental space to be. आप जब जाकर किसी से बात करोगे ना, they will not judge you कि ये कैसी बात लेकर आया है मेरे सामने. That becomes your safe space to go and talk your heart out. Why most men have a heart attack is they've never opened their hearts out. More number of men have heart attacks than women.
Yeah,
it's
true.
a study.
True.
Right? Why is that happening? Because a man is never allowed to talk from his heart. He's always talking from his mind. He's learned to shut down his heart and his emotions for the longest time. And he's holding on to hurts and pains and he's shoved it under the carpet and he's just walking, talking like a robot. उसको तो कभी मौका ही नहीं मिला ना कि वो बैठ के कहीं रो ले.
Very interesting study.
It is true.
It is, yeah. When you hear of heart attacks, mostly you hear
It's
about
all men. Most are men only. Very rare you will hear a woman getting a heart attack. Why? Because women talk. और दो औरतें इकट्ठे बैठ जाएंगी
बैठ
वो
गए खत्म.
हाँ
Yes.
two
Correct.
strangers will also start
Yeah.
talking if they're two women, but they just know how to talk. They will speak out anything and
Yeah.
everything, but a
Yeah.
man he'll be very rationed in what he says.
What's one message you would like to give all the men who are always the providers but rarely pause to receive?
It's all right, take it. Women जो इतना इक्वालिटी का
Yeah.
डंका बजा रहे हैं women have also learned to give.
Yeah.
And it's all right for men to receive. It does not make you weaker. It does not make you any smaller. It does not make you any less valuable if you can sit and receive also.
And finally, how can families, wives, children, parents do a better job of appreciating and supporting the men in their lives?
You know, I think every family should have a family circle time
Okay.
wherein everybody gets an opportunity to talk.
You think it's possible that,
Yes,
forget
it
men,
is.
in that family circle, anyone can talk their heart out?
I've had opportunities of seeing such things happening. I myself do that in my own family,
Okay.
and I become the first one to start. The thing is that you don't know who would start.
But what do you talk about?
So whoever is listening to this conversation could be the first person to start and share what happened during your day, what has happened during this month, what is your lookout on the life that you've lived through this year, just sharing your life's experiences. And that can be a great opening starter for a deep conversation to happen. We are not having deep conversations. That's where the problem is, Sajid. क्या कर रहे हैं हम खाली प्रॉब्लम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं ना और उसका सोल्यूशन ढूंढ रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ मीट आफ्टर ए डेज वर्क एंड दे से आज पता है ये काम करना था ये काम करना था ये रह गया ये कल कर दोगे प्लीज. दैट्स द मैक्स कॉन्वर्सेशन पीपल आर हैविंग.
There's no
बेटा यू
communication.
वांट दिस फॉर्म फिल गो आस्क डैड. ये चेक देना है ये गो आस्क डैड. आई मीन व्हाट्स देयर इज देयर अ कॉन्वर्सेशन बियॉन्ड दिस पॉइंट. तो जब तक कॉन्वर्सेशन नहीं होगा तब तक नथिंग विल ओपन अप. So in May end this year, we went to Goa for a retreat, and I had a mother-daughter duo. Mother 46 and the daughter was 19,
Okay.
and they had such a great time together. And the mother was first very scared that what will my daughter do in such a retreat, and it's going to be a lot of elder people, and she might feel that she's a misfit. But the moment that space unfolded, everybody found that to be a safe space for them to talk, to open up, and to receive at the same level. So I had a 19-year-old and I also had an 85-year-old sitting in the same class.
Wow.
So that was the kind of age bracket I had, like a huge,
Yeah.
you know.
But I think that's a good way, because I think in families, when there's this age gap, communication, it gets very difficult with each other.
We don't know how to create those channels of communication. Like if you create a ritual to do some activity together, one activity together. It could be a sport, it could be bonding over yoga, bonding over breathwork, bonding over cycling, bonding over going to the gym, whatever. Just do one activity together. That's all.
Tell us about the retreats you host.
So the retreats happen twice a year, and it takes a group of people. And whenever we do this retreat, one time it happens by the beach, and the other time it happens in the hills. So it gives us two kind of experiences. But what happens inside the retreat is that it is a safe container that I have for people to unfold and heal within that container. It's a sacred energy that I create in those retreats for them to unfold and open up on such a level where you are stripped of your identity, your ego, your everything, and you're simply a energy and a soul in that container. Where your age does not matter, where your gender does not matter, where your social status does not matter, nothing matters. You're just an energy there to heal. And you know what? The more of it is about letting go. The first part is about letting go.
But is it that people, because there are different people, and they're strangers to each other, is it more easy for them to open up?
Even if you know each other,
Hmm.
even if you're a stranger, the container is the same for everybody. The
Okay.
minute you feel safe and you open up, and if there are two people from the same family that come, I have seen them bond such deeper, so much more deeper than what they had come to me. Like, for example, this mother daughter, there were two sisters, there were two friends. Okay, all of these people when they came in, they were so scared कि अब यहाँ पता नहीं क्या होने वाला है. But when they were leaving, they had tears in their eyes and they were hugging every single person in the room that we don't want to leave the space and go away, because the kind of bond that they create in those 4 nights, 5 days they become friends for life.
Wow.
It's that kind of camaraderie. It's holding somebody through their pain. Imagine if, two people share their pains, bearing their hearts out completely without shame, without guilt, without fear, without any other feeling involved, and being there unconditionally for the other person and healing at the same time along with the entire group. Everybody bonds like this.
Wow.
It's a different energy altogether. It's in the lap of nature where no distractions, no gadgets, no phones, nothing, no work. You're not allowed to bring your laptops. You cannot even look at your phones through the day. So you can see your phone in the morning and in the evening. Through the day, you're connected to all of that. Because it takes away so much of your
Yeah.
energy. You're in the retreat to unwind
Correct.
from all of it.
And also in normal life, you're stuck to your phones throughout
Yeah.
the day. So
And you go through deep healing processes where your entire vibration is being shaken up to release. You cry, people howl and cry and let it all out. It's stuck inside the body.
lovely, Madhvi. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge. I think this was a very healing podcast, not only for me, but I think it will be for all the viewers also. And thank you so much for coming all the way to Mumbai for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sajid, for calling me over. And I've had such a great time talking to you about so many things. And I wish you and all the men of the world all the very best. May you find your path sooner
I
than
could
ever.
feel every part of this podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you.